Hey there, would you like to join me as I go through some old projects? We're going to look at some really old fabrics from the 90s, from when I first started quilting and sewing. And I'm even going to show you the world's oldest UFO. Come along and join me. Okay, so I have this bin. It's just a small bin that I came across, and I realized that it has a block of the month that I purchased. I don't even know how long ago. Now, I think at the time that I wasn't going to work on it as I was getting the block of the month because it's a very complex pattern. Let me see if I can find the main pattern so that I can show you the entire thing. Oh my gosh, y'all, I found receipts. I found receipts. What is this? Oh my gosh, what is this for? Paper pieces and glue. Okay, for my quilt shop when I lived in Illinois. That's really funny. Oh my gosh, but here's the original receipt, or at least for one of them. So I ordered this block of the month through Keepsake Quilting, oh my God, in 2010. 2010, and I can tell you that they still use the same, the same design for the receipts. Oh my gosh, that's crazy, crazy. Okay, so let me see, yes, okay, so it's called Baltimore Halloween, and it was by P3 Designs, Pearl P. Pereira. And this is what the pattern looks like, or the quilt looks like. I was absolutely enamored. I definitely loved applique. I haven't done it in a really long time. It makes a 58 by 58 quilt. And if you could see, there are little bats along it makes sort of a scalloped border. Border is the word I was looking for. Okay. So I started one block, which, let's see if I can find. I can see the block. I just need to find the pattern for it. Goodness. So I'll just go through and I'll show you some of the blocks. Really, really beautiful designs. And of course it's block of the month, so each block has all of the fabric. You can see there's a bunch of fabric in there for each block. Oh, and I can tell you, it was $26.98 after postage and tax. $26.98 a month back in 2010. I have no idea how much this would cost now. Probably closer to 40, I would guess, with the increase in the price of fabric and all of that. Oh my gosh, look how complex this one. This one's really thick. And so I got all of the blocks. Oh, silly me. Here's the block that I started, which this was block number 3. Why I started on block number 3, I don't know. Other than maybe I thought it was easy. So part of the reason why I got the scan and cut was so that I could finish this quilt, because what the scan and cut does is it allows you to scan in a pattern and then scan in it's got a camera. So it lets you scan in the sticky sheet you can actually put assorted pieces of fabric, and then you can move the pattern pieces into place. And so that was one of the reasons why I got this, was that I thought in my head, I was like, I can put, 4 pieces of fabric on the mat and then actually move the pieces that I need cut onto, the right fabric. And that would, help make it a little bit easier to do fusible applique. Now, I think when I did this, I was planning to do needle turn, but at this point, I think I'd rather just get it done and do it, like fusible and be done. So that is probably what I'm going to do. It just occurred to me that there's other patterns in here. Oh my goodness. There's so many patterns at the bottom here. A bunch of clothing patterns, a bunch of embroidery patterns. Oh my gosh, like like that. This is all from like, oh my gosh. Look at all these sassafras lane patterns. Here, I'll actually start from the back. Privet Drive, one way. Churn-Dash Court, Euclid Avenue, Canyon Boulevard, Diamond Detour, Wingcoop Court, Firelights Lane. They're really cool. Lantern Lane, Lombard Street, Prism Parkway, and Piccadilly Circle. Very cool. I used to get all of these patterns. I'm certain that this bin is just full of patterns that I got at market for the most part. I would go to market and then, you know, people would give me patterns and things to put in the magazine. So yeah, there's a bunch of bag patterns and oh my goodness, all kinds of things. Wow. All right, well, that's another UFO I need to add to the list. And I can't imagine I'm going to finish this one this year, but I can certainly start to make some progress on it and add it to the rotation of things to work on. So it's been my goal for multiple years now to learn how to use the scan and cut and use the features that I want for this particular pattern. So it needs to be done. So at some point I'm going to be working on it. Okay. In this bin is the world's oldest UFO. This was actually from the Quilted for Christmas magazine, and it was the cover quilt. This magazine came out in, why is the month not on the cover? Because probably it was a special issue and they didn't bother. But let's see, 2000. So I was 25 years old. So this was the quilt that was started and stopped and started and stopped and started and stopped multiple times. And in this bin, when we moved, I put everything in this bin for this particular quilt. Now, it looks like I've got some set up on a cookie sheet that I know is the correct size. And it's got all kinds of scraps thrown on top of it, but I know for a fact that those pieces were all the right size. Some of them were not cut the right size because when I started this project, I decided that I was going to hand sew it. And using Ginny Byer's book about hand sewing, she drew the accurate line using the template on the fabric, but then it didn't matter how you cut it because you were using the lines that you drew for stitching the squares together, and she could sew like the wind by hand. And I thought, oh, this is great. I have small kids. I can bring this with me when we go to places. This is literally how far that I got on this quilt. And then I decided at some point, probably in like 2015, that I was going to add some mishmash of like improv to the corners. And I'm going to take all of that out. Now, in addition to this center medallion, I have several blocks done that are done in all different ways. This way I actually used Quilt Smart Grid, and I actually got rid of the bolt of that, so I can't even do it that way. I didn't love it, but I've got a bunch more. blocks done. Some of these have some of the hand sewn pieces in there. I don't know if you can even see it, but those were all hand sewn. So, oh, here's a really good example because you can actually see on the blue that I used light colored thread. So I've got a bunch of blocks. And then the rest of this bin is, so this was the fabric inspiration in 2021 probably. And it's got all of the fabrics that I purchased originally for this particular quilt. Some of it's still yardage. I've got a few more of like smaller pieces that aren't quite full blocks yet. I've got strip piecing done. So this bin here is the reason why I started the UFO tracking system, because I've stopped and started so many times. And yes, I know, you can tell me that, you know, I don't have to actually finish it if it's not bringing me joy, but this was a project that I started with my husband, and he has wanted this quilt for all these years. His desire to have it has not waned, and while I'm not sure I want to still make a king size quilt, it may be a smaller quilt, but I still want to get it done. I just want to get it done. So I'm going to take some time and I'm going to go through this bin, and I am going to figure out where things are. I'm going to keep in the fabrics that I still like, take out the ones that I don't think go. I'm going to take out the improv blocks that did not go with the pattern. And it was funny because when I did it, my husband hated it, and I was like, I don't care what you say. At the time, he pointed out where my points didn't match on one section, and I told him that I was, I was done. So, but I still think it's really pretty. I do. I still think it's pretty. I think this would be lovely on the bed in the fall, and so that means it would have to be king size. So anyway, I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do. I don't think it would be that hard for this to be a leader and ender project, to just stitch some of the blocks together, 2x2, 4x4, etc., and get this thing a little closer to done. So I just wanted to show you that fun thing. Oh, one more thing. I'm going to show you one more thing. Okay, this bin I have been carrying around with me for years. I want to say, I mean, this literally could be a bin that I have been carrying as long as I've been a quilter, because there is some fabric in here that literally is from the first fabric I ever got when I started quilting. So there's like pieces, parts of patterns. Like I actually did finish this one. Friends of mine still have that quilt. There's, for some reason, just this empty thing that needs to be thrown away. A little pattern of a dog coat that I made for my mom's dog. This is what's left over from a kit that I finished. Like, it's all little bits of things. Like, it's so odd. It's got some heat and bond. Like, how good is this heat and bond, really? And some Metler thread from way back then. Oh my gosh, people. This is the backing. I want to show you what backing looks like. You can see me, can't you? Literally, you can see through it. Like, why am I keeping this? And just, you know, the reason why we would use fabric like this for the backing is because we hand quilted things, and it was easier to hand quilt through this. Like, you would never use a sheet for backing back then because you couldn't put a needle through it. So, oh goodness, I don't even know what this is. Should we open it? Let's open it and see how ugly it is. Country Love. Look at that. I guess it was for making ruffled pillows. And there's a chunk out of this side. I don't know where this came from. Probably got it as part of something at a yard sale, and I don't even know why I've been carrying it around. This is fabric that I made overalls for my oldest. Look at this dusty mauve. This is probably see, there's a selvage, but there's nothing written on the selvage. This is either a Debbie Mum or a Thimbleberries. That was classic quilting stuff from back then. I mean, I've got probably, it feels like there's at least a yard of this. It's not too bad. This looks like a 1930s repro. I can't even tell you, I don't even know why I have so much of this. I know I used a bunch of it. For what, I don't remember. Oh my gosh, I loved this fabric. And it doesn't even look as pretty as it used to. Like, I feel like it's gotten discolored. But boy, I love that print. Some seafoam green. Ooh, this one's a doozy. I don't know why I have this. I'm gonna imagine that like somebody gave me fabric or something. Oh, this was from my Christmas tree skirt. This too. These two fabrics were in my Christmas tree skirt. We didn't have very good selection back then, in my defense. This is a backing fabric that I didn't use this backing. Oh, this is fabric. I bought this. I bought yards of this to make purses. I was gonna have a purse making business because I get stopped on the streets all the time. People would ask me where I got it. Oh my gosh, you guys. Look at that. DS Quilts for Fabric Traditions. I didn't even know who that was back then. What's her name? Denise Schmidt. That's Denise Schmidt fabric. I have vintage Denise. I'm going to keep the vintage Denise Schmidt. I have no idea what this one is. Probably nothing. I just picked it to go with that one. Kind of pretty. I don't know. There's just scraps of weirdness. I think that came with some other fabric. This was fabric that I used. It's so soft. I used it to make pajamas for my youngest, matching pajamas. Oh my gosh. This was a pattern. I mean, I think I was pregnant with my oldest, so it was probably 1991. I have the bodies. I've got the hair. Curly crepe wool. You could buy this. You could buy this in any store back then. These were, I don't know how much that was. From Utah. You could buy these little doilies. These were the heart doilies that would make the angel wings. 79 cents. I've got a few of those in there. That's super fun. I've got some buttons. Those are still good. Pattern for 9 easy patterns for vests. Clearly planning to make a quilt vest. Got a bunch of this. Like all these little like ditzy prints. 90s for sure. Now I know this one came from a quilt store. I think this might have been from one of my first quilts. I don't remember what this was for. It was early, very early. This was probably also like Thimbleberries or Debbie Mom. And that was for part of a skirt that I made for a doll. That's like a Christmas doll that I pull out at Christmas time sometimes. Oh my gosh. Some classic calico. Classic. Got a bunch of this. I feel like this was Debbie Mom. I got a bunch of that. Goodness. Just, oh. A little bit of muslin. Remember the good old days of being able to buy muslin. This is some of the earliest fabric I ever got. First quilt ever. First quilt box that never even became a quilt. Oh, see, I've got more of this one. Got this one. And decoys. And moose tracks. Yeah, this one was a... I think that one was Debbie Mom. So anyway, yeah, I mean, lots of old 90s, early 2000 prints. This one I clearly thought was very pretty. There's a little bit of batting scraps in here. Some plain gray. Why do I have plain gray? I don't even know. But I've been carrying this around. I've got some nice green Swiss dot. I think that was also part of the Christmas tree skirt. Some leaves. It's like St. Patrick's Day. So other than a few fabrics, I think what I'm going to do is I'm likely going to just drop this off. Oh, here's a good one. Whew, 1990s. Yes. I'm going to probably drop this off at, there's a creative reuse center near my house, and I think I am just going to take the entire bin. My throat is getting scratchy from digging through all this dusty stuff, but I think I'm just going to bring it there. I'm just going to take the entire bin and bring it. Someone else can use this and have fun with it. I don't quite know why I've been carrying it around all these years other than nostalgia. So please tell me that you do the same thing, that you have bins of fabric that you don't like anymore and don't need, and please tell me I'm not alone. So, bin going. It's all good. I'm just going to take it out of here, put it in my car, and bring it over to the Creative Reuse Center. Someone will get a lot of enjoyment out of it, I'm sure. I hope that you enjoyed excavating through these old bins with me. I am looking forward to spending a little more time going through those and getting my UFO set up to keep sewing. And I'm really looking forward to donating that bin of fabric. I kind of think I'm just going to take the whole thing and just donate it. Well, I might pull out a couple of fabrics that are from projects that I still have that were completed, just in case, you know, save some of the fabric in case there's ever a rip or a tear that needs to be repaired. And I think I'll leave it at that, but I think I'm just going to take the entire bin and drop it off. Also, I wanted to give you a heads up. Next week, I will be in Chicago for the F&F Festival, which is the Fiber and Fabric Festival in Rosemont. And I will be in the Make and Take booth. So if you happen to be going to that show, please swing by and say hello. I would love to see you and meet you in person, or see you again if we've met before. If you enjoyed today's video, please like this video and subscribe if you want to keep seeing my content. Also, YouTube thinks that you're going to like this video, so click on that one if you want to keep watching. I'll see you next week.